Well, now that we're nice and done with Boogeyman 3, we can move on to The Boogeyman, brought to us by the brilliant mind of Ulli Lommel. You may remember him from a bunch of other crap, with most of his recent ones being straight to video. But oh, not The Boogeyman, this one was his gem. The Boogeyman. I already said everything I had to say before the movie starts already. It starts off with this woman demonstrating to her lover that she knows how to take her stockings off and put them on his head while her kids watch boredly on from outside. Well, they shouldn't have been doing that, and it earns Willie getting tied up to his bed while Lacey just gets sent to bed. Well, that's not quite the even punishment. Also, just sending them to bed might have been the better plan in the first place. This scene is weird. It needs some appropriate scoring.
The mothers are watching you. Be careful of all that you do. The dream state might give us a clue, but the mothers are watching you.
Well, maybe they should have tied both of them to their beds as Lacey grabs a butcher knife to free Willie. Sorry.
Take it off. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, I know it makes no sense to make out with this on, but I need to die with it on because I'm too generic otherwise. This shot kinda seems a little familiar. Oh well, he makes much stabbings of his mom's boyfriend as Lacey watches on in the mirror. Why does she watch it in the mirror? Because it's important. Why is it important? Because she watched it in the mirror. Confused? Well, don't worry. A couple years later, Willie and Lacey are all grown up, with Lacey dealing with the trauma by getting a husband and a child, and Willie becoming a mute. Yeah, not quite even again. But hey, they're all a big, happy family now at their aunt and uncle's farm, where Lacey seems to have picked up some of her mother's awesome parenting techniques as she lets her boy play on the edge of a well.
Dear Lacey and Willie, a long time has passed, more than 20 years since I last saw you. I'm getting older, and the doctor said I might not live very long. As your mother, I feel I have the right to see you at least one more time.
Well, hearing that from that lovely woman gives them both a minor freakout, but everything will be just fine as we later see Willie taking a knife from the dinner table and adding it to his knife collection. Has no one seriously noticed all the knives going missing? Oh well, it's just some silly knife collection as Willie after just goes on with normal activities like feeding his pets, then lowering some woman he has trapped in his closet, tying her up to his bed, and stabbing the shit out of her. Well, at least he's getting the anger he has for his mother out in a constructive way, right? Nah, apparently that's just a nightmare of Lacey's. I'm sure glad her brother being a murderer nightmare included a subplot of him feeding his pets. Or did Willie really do that? I don't know, he's really good at covering it up if he did.
Let's get rid of these ghosts once and for all.
But how?
I think you should see your mother. And I think we should stop by the old house where you grew up.
Well, we'll do one of those, but first we've got to go see psychologist John Carradine.
Pointless Brad cameo because John Carradine is in the movie.
Thanks, Brad! Carradine helps Lacey to bring up all the lovely repressed memories of the first scene of the movie because we so obviously have forgotten it ourselves by now. You know, this reminds me of a repressed review I apparently did back when I used to die all the time. And I was wearing the same shirt because I'm really lazy. I mean, I just happen to be wearing the same shirt. Remembering... Oh man, I should really get that checked out, but I'm not going to because I'm in the middle of a review here. A second later, I died. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that hilarious, not relevant to anything bullshit. Moving on. Ah, of course, she must be possessed by gremlins. Wow, that is really, really stupid. Actually, the real reason for that voice is nowhere to be found in the movie.
Is the house still there? I want you to go back with her and take a look at it.
Oh, thanks for helping us re-show the starting scene and telling us to do what we were going to do anyway, Carradine. This totally wasn't a waste of time. Speaking of which, we then have a scene of some girl flirting with Willie, which makes him take charge and go all Colin Baker on her ass. In fact, just like Colin Baker, the only reason he stops is he sees himself doing it in the mirror.
And it seems not a moment too soon.
Almost strangling a girl to death kind of seems like something that might get brought up again, doesn't it? Well, nope. Well, to make sure this never happens again, Willie paints over the mirror so he can strangle girls without having to see it. This is actually the last bit of misdirection the movie does to try and make us think that Willie's the killer, because just like the 2005 Boogeyman movie, we'll get something much, much sillier.
I wonder who lives here.
Were you sent by the real estate agent?
Well, yes. Mind if we come in?
Did he just put on an obvious fake voice for no reason? Or did they overdub him with someone putting on an obvious fake voice for no reason?
I'm Jake. It's my wife, Lacey.
Oh, guess there's no more need for that voice now that we're in.
Boogeyman!
Name drop! Lacey checks out her mom's old room, but the same mirror is there, and it hasn't gotten with the times at all, as it still shows old stocking head laying on the bed.
Are you crazy or something?
I know I saw him.
You have to believe me! My mother's dead lover lives in the mirror dimension! Okay, let's go see John Carradine again.
Have you got a paper bag or something? I'll pick this up.
What are you doing, Jake?
What I said I was going to do? The only reasonable thing to do after you come into someone else's place and smash up their mirror?
What are you doing, Jake?
Taking this damn thing back to the farm.
I know you think I'm crazy, but I saw what I saw.
But I'm not telling it.
Jake, would you mind telling us what this is all about?
Now look, Lacey. What do you see? Nothing, right? Nothing but ordinary reflections.
Yes. Nothing. Nothing but ordinary reflections.
Oh, well, I guess that solved everything. So even though Jake managed to get every last little piece of the mirror to start his crazy little project, he somehow missed a huge piece of it in the middle of the floor. And now smashed, it has turn red and mouth-breathing powers.
Grandma said when you break a mirror, you free everything that it's seen.
Well, at least we had some action around here for a change.
She seemed pretty normal at first.
Oh yeah, I mean, you knew her a good 2 minutes or so before she did that. Naturally, now released from the mirror, Stockinghead immediately spies on this girl who lives at the house cutting her hair.
I know you're there, Timmy. I'll be back in a few hours. Or maybe I'll stay with Jeff. Oh, he's so handsome.
Is she trying to make her younger brother jealous? Ugh. Oh no, the evil mirror can make her take too much off! Oh, and then stab herself in the throat to add insult to injury.
Boogeyman!
Well, the randomness of these twits' deaths was almost worth it for that. Almost. Well, 2 down, 1 to go. No, she'll totally live. She grabs that last evil mirror shard and it makes her cut herself, leading her to find her sister and brother dead. But the bigger concern is her cut hand. And that set the mirror shard on fire. And that smack from the cupboard door killed her? Really? She never shows up again, so apparently, yeah, that killed her. Lacey goes to see John Carradine again, who has correctly deducted that she set loose the evil spirit of her mother's ex-lover from the mirror.
And by destroying the mirror, you exorcise the ghost once and for all.
Oh wait, no, he's just padding the movie out some more. What a surprise. Oh, shouldn't have done that, Willie. Now you've given the rake mouth-breathing powers.
How'd that happen?
Lacey, your brother doesn't talk. Luckily, he throws water on it, which is the mirror's worst enemy.
You think I'm crazy, don't you?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all.
Are you crazy or something?
Yeah, it's just acting out of character for those scenes so I could be weird and bring the evil mirror back.
Go get your hat and jacket. We're going fishing.
So now that mirror's gonna get the little boy? Nope, it's gonna shine over on some random people. Where one is about to get a stupid surprise blowjob, but luckily he's able to avoid it.
And it seems not a moment too soon.
And the mirror shining at them is now all they need to be haunted by the mouth-breathing powers.
Andy?
Oh, come on! There's a knife sticking out both sides of his head! Nope, totally didn't see that till he turned, and the door must have hit her a lot harder than it looks like it did. But get it? It looks just like they're kissing now, so the other people just leave. Well, thanks for eating up 8 minutes of screen time with those randoms dying. It really added a lot. 8 minutes of screen time.
Lacey, who did this?
I don't know.
The mirror. Lacey, you were right. I should have taken you more serious.
She gets her shirt ripped and you get your hand cut, and that's enough to make you a complete believer in mirror ghosts. Sure.
When I broke the mirror, I released him.
Really? What gave this guy the ability to haunt a mirror? The stocking on his head? Well, that makes about as much sense as anything at this point.
This is impossible. Lacey, he's dead.
Oh, and Jake suddenly finds it hard to believe again despite just saying that Lacey was right.
This is unbelievable. Father Riley?
Can you exorcise a mirror?
There's a force in that mirror. She believes it's him.
Him? Who?
The ghost of her mother's lover.
Here's a similar incident. The New York Times reports December 8th, 1975.
I think I should get back to the house.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why I came to see you if I didn't want to hear a thing you had to say. But thanks for more padding.
And when you picked up the piece, it burned?
Yeah, I mean, it had its own power.
Oh no! Red! Well, at least we're protected from internet ghosts, am I right? Stupid surprised mirror shard. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense at all. Well, we find out that mouth-breathing pitchfork finally got to kill someone, as the aunt and uncle have both been killed off-screen. Cause clearly they weren't important enough for an on-screen death, and I mean, there was no time for that anyway.
Lacey, what are you doing?
I'm fixing supper, dear.
Lacey, Ernest, and Helen are dead.
Oh, that makes dinner for 4. Father Riley, you're staying, aren't you?
She's infected with the mirror virus! Yeah, that's just really, really silly. Okay, priesty boy, she's evil mirror shard Kano. She's not a freaking vampire. Oh, well, at least some good came out of all this. Willie remembered how to talk. Realizing that obviously evil mirror shards plus water equals fire, they throw the rest of the mirror in the well and the day is saved.
I'll get you next time, my ex-girlfriend's kids. Next time.
We've got to go back to the farm. There's a lot to do before the movers come.
Yeah, I've still got a few women in the closet to strangle and stab, but other than that, things will be alright.
Come on, Kevin. Let's go.
So if we've learned anything from this movie, it's not to stab someone with stockings on their head in front of a mirror, or else they'll get evil mouth breather mirror powers. As I've said, most of this thing just feels like padding, and it kind of suffers from the same problem as the 2005 movie. It sets up a traumatic event for a kid in his past that might make them into a killer, then says, huh, just kidding, it's a magic boogeyman. Though the evil entity in the film wasn't actually called the Boogeyman this time, was it? Which is definitely better, but the movie should have just been called My Mother's Ex-Lover's Evil Mirror Ghost. Okay, the Boogeyman was fine. Also, maybe a stocking had died by water, that whole thing would have made some sense, but instead it just seems that mirrors are combustible if you just add water. However, out of all the Boogeyman films I've done thus far, this was definitely the best one, and at least it had some funny moments to it. But only now do I suddenly realize why I have a mirror set up here. Yup, just realized that. So, anything evil in there? Well, just me mostly. Ugh, well that's evil enough. Of course. The other lesson we learned from this movie. A mirror plus water equals fire. Well, I'll see you guys next time for Boogeyman 2. Again.
I don't like this movie, doesn't look too friendly. This monster seems so fake, my nerves are gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down, you need to be around. Grab that running one up and blast, I sing a new one. This movie looks shitty. Phelous, so Phelous, bring a multi-comedy of Phelous, so Phelous, and some horror movies, so Phelous, so Phelous. I don't care about how you sound, but Phelous, so Phelous, what's your opinion about?
I'm dead from that cough! Oh, and I pooped myself! Is it funny yet?
Oh.